Lebanon is often referred to as the Pearl of the Middle East. Rich in history and a culture that fuses the ancient and the modern, its diversity and beauty draws millions of visitors from all over the world. But for over a year now, Lebanon has been paralyzed by a standoff between the government and protesters demanding change. Many Lebanese accuse the government of corruption and a failing economy and seek to end a sectarian power-sharing system funded in 1989. The treaty transferred power from the presidency to a cabinet divided equally between Muslims and Christians. It helped end the civil war that had raged more than a decade. But what silenced the guns back then is now helpless to mute the voices of the people. Clashes between demonstrators and police continued for months, and on August 4, 2020, Lebanon's problems became even more complex. I traveled to Beirut shortly after the explosion. The destruction I witnessed was apocalyptic. Firefighters from this station were among the first responders trying to put out what they thought was just a fire. For some, it would be the last time they would see their colleagues alive.
هلا في من اليتين اليت اسعاف امبولانس واليت فاير فايتر مع 10 بيبل نزلوا لتحت وصلوا بسرعه لانه احنا قريبين من هون. بمجرد شافوا حجم النار وحسوا انه في شيء مش طبيعي انه ما راح يقدروا يسيطروا لوحدهم طلبوا دعم. دغري حكيوا مع غرفه العمليات هون او 6 و9 دقائق طلع الانفجار وانا عم بحكي معهم على التليفون والشباب تحت بالارض بده ينطلقوا.
Beirut's chief firefighter Nabil Khinharli accuses the government of withholding information that could have saved many lives.
لأنه أكيد لو عارفين إنه في نترات دمونيوم بهالكمية ما ببعت شباب لتحت، ما بنزلهم لتحت على الموت. بالعكس كنت بحكي مع من غرفة العمليات بنحكي مع الأجهزة اللي موجودة بالبور إنه عملوا evacuation للأريا.
The explosion destroyed around 85,000 homes and left more than 250,000 people scrambling for a place to stay. Among them is Abdo Farouan, and for him, it is clear just who is responsible.
70 ما قدرت عملت كل قال ما بيخلونا نشتغل كيف الخبرية لا بيخلونا نشتغل كنت شو انت في السعير بالزمان الله يرحمه ريمو قدي.
A home now lying in rubble gives Abdo little reason to trust the government to help.
هلا بيجوا شفتوا لو بيقولوا لنا ما بدنا ندفع بتعرفي حالك كيف بتشتغلي بتدبري حالك بس وعود ورح نعطي مباشر ورح نعطي كذا ورح هلا حتتحقق اما رح تتحقق.
The blast didn't just wipe out homes. After assessing 55 primary healthcare facilities, the World Health Organization declared many hospitals unfit to treat thousands of injured, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic in full swing. As more than 190 people were confirmed dead, around 6,500 others awaited treatment. With Beirut's public hospitals overwhelmed, some private clinics and doctors like plastic surgeon Joe Baroud offered to help for free of charge.
I went down to the blast site the same day, and really the devastating scene that I saw made me not able to just sit back and watch. And I know that I have the expertise to at least make a difference in the lives of the patient or in the outcome of the injuries. And I just couldn't sit at home and watch it from afar.
Shadi Risk was able to capture his near-death experience on video.
very, very extreme. And I was shaking, of course, because it was very close.
When he opened his eyes, he was covered in blood, with multiple shrapnel in his body, and in the care of Dr. Baroud.
What he's doing is angelic, like he's an angel helping people for free. No one would do that in Lebanon. So it's very little in Lebanon to see someone doing this, and this is so human. This is so angelic.
Many of those injured are now recovering, and soon after the dust settled in Beirut, protests resumed, this time forcing the government of Prime Minister Hassan Diab to step down.
أمام هذا الواقع نتراجع خطوة إلى الوراء للوقوف مع الناس كي نخوض معركة التغيير معهم. نريد أن نفتح الباب أمام الإنقاذ الوطني الذي يشارك اللبنانيون في صناعته. لذلك أعلن اليوم استقالة هذه الحكومة. الله يحمي لبنان.
To better understand the standoff between the government and the people, I head downtown to meet Mohammed Jamul, a rapper and software engineer who has taken part in the protest. He says the reasons behind their demand for change are all too obvious.
I'm 23 years old and I've been through like a war of liberation, a war, a semi-civil war, a terrorist attacks, 2 years without president, a revolution, a hyperinflation, a poor explosion, and I'm not even in my 30s yet. So like, to be honest, at this point, I'm just scared to see what's gonna happen next. So yeah, all we knew is conflict. All we knew is tension. All we knew here is toxicity and sectarianism and hate. And yeah, we were kind of growing tired of it.
Mohammed says what keeps politicians in power isn't corruption, but a problem that lies much deeper.
In all systems, if you're corrupt, you don't stay in power, you know? But there's another factor that's keeping them in power. It's because I think it all goes back to sectarianism. And it all goes back to the Civil War mentality. It's like we're all about inclusive and being inclusive, and they're all about division. They're all about like conflict, of dividing people. It feels like there's this generational gap between us and the people in charge.
I walked the same streets where protesters fought with Lebanese police. The barbed wire and traces of cocktail bombs hint at a tension that still lingers in an otherwise vibrant downtown Beirut, now silenced by an explosion. Crippled by wars and a political crisis since 1996, Lebanon is at risk of becoming a failed state. It is forced to choose between a younger generation holding sustained protests demanding change and a political elite who've been accused of corruption and are desperate to clinch to power. An-Nahar is one of Lebanon's leading Arabic language newspapers. Its headquarters carry scars of the blast, and journalists like Cherry Shukir say the never-ending crisis in the country cut an even deeper one in the minds of the youth.
Since the explosion till now, we can already see the ridiculous lines at the airport and the ridiculous lines in front of embassies and the extent people are going to get their visas, some people of course. And it's heartbreaking because I personally have so many friends that in the past week have decided to pack their bags and have said enough is enough. Some of them had enough, and no one can blame them. I mean, who wants to grow up in a country where you don't know when you're gonna die and how you're gonna die, and it's not gonna be a natural death?
Cherry also stresses a lack of understanding between the younger and older generations, problems of today which she blames on the governments of the past.
We were thrown into a country where since the earliest that we would ever remember, we'd hear about all these problems, we'd hear about war, we'd hear about economic collapses, and it just got worse after that. So I think it's our generation that suffered the most, and that is suffering the most, and that is now paying the price for the mistakes of our previous generation, because we're rebuilding this country from the ashes, literally from the ashes, as we have seen. And we're the ones who are here every day volunteering and picking up rubbles and dusting off our own city because we want to build it again.
This is a country that still carries a burden of the past. For many decades, each generation accused the other while piling its own problems on the present rubble. And each turn of events just makes it harder for Lebanon to dust it off.